Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be how cheating and infidelity starts. So this should be a pretty good video newsletter because I know this is a topic that a lot of people struggle with, especially like this past week. A bunch of the phone sessions I've had with guys are guys that are in similar situations here where their women are spending time with other guys who are just friends. And so this particular guy who wrote me this email, he's been with his wife 12 years. They got 2 kids together. And she's been talking to a male coworker and recently met this guy out for drinks. And so he made some mistakes. He said some things to his wife that I would not have said, which kind of basically is kind of giving her permission to continue developing a friendship with this guy. But obviously he's gone through her phone recently and noticed that there's text exchanges and things going on between his wife and this male coworker that are inappropriate. So this is a good topic to go through because, like I said, lately it seems like I've had a bunch of phone sessions with guys that are in these kinds of situation. And so it's like you can see like the beginning stages. It doesn't appear that she slept with this other guy yet, but we don't really know for certain. But the idea is if you notice these signs in your relationship with your girlfriend or your wife or whatever, it's like you want to be able to nip this stuff in the bud and have some counter arguments, especially if she wants to continue the friendship with whoever this other guy might be. Because if you give her your blessing to continue this friendship and she starts spending more time and this attraction starts to grow, it's just not going to lead to a good place. So with that said, I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then we'll jump right into the guy's email. And the quote says, "Attraction is not a choice. Chemistry and effortless conversation happen naturally and cannot be forced. It flows like water. When men and women interact, attraction and chemistry are revealed, not created. When men and women who are either unhappy in their lives, their relationships, or they are simply single and searching for love interact, the potential for cheating and infidelity arises. People who are in exclusive monogamous relationships should not be spending time with members of the opposite sex without their partners or other people being present. This is simple respect for those who are in committed relationships. People who violate these sacred boundaries are inviting attention, validation, and romantic interest, and are creating the conditions for cheating and infidelity to happen." So with that said, let's go through this guy's email. He says, "Dear Corey, I've been following your work for 3 years now, and I can't express my gratitude to you and your excellent work." He says, "I've read your book 6 times so far." Well, 6 times in 3 years, bro. 3% Man, obviously, he's talking about, which you can read for free at understandingrelationships.com. You definitely should have read it more than that over the course of 3 years. So that tells me you're still trying to cherry pick things. And oh, on a side note, for those of you that are so inclined, I actually have an account on Parler now. It's at Coach Corey Wayne. That's at Coach Corey Wayne on the Parler app. So if you're so inclined, go to Parler and follow me there, because I've been shadow banned on Twitter for several years. My audience, it's crazy. The followers stopped growing about 4 or 5 years ago, and it fluctuates up and down 40 to 50 at a time. And I'm getting a lot more engagement. People are actually able to see my posts on Parler. So it's at Coach Corey Wayne on Parler. So back to our regularly scheduled programming here. He says, "I'm 42 years old, have a good job, and above average income. I've been married for 12 years with 2 great kids. The last couple of months, I noticed some small changes in my wife's behavior that seemed a little strange to me. She told me she wants to quit her job because she is tired of doing the same thing over and over again and because the environment of her work is toxic." Hey, if she's not happy, then obviously definitely encourage and support her in that. Obviously, if that's what she really wants to do, unless she's just venting that she is presently unhappy there. That's one of those topics where you go, do you want me just to listen, or do you want my advice or my opinion? He says she decided to get a tattoo, which is something that I don't personally like, and started to make little changes in the house without asking me. So that shows me there's obviously an independent streak to where she's no longer doing things as a team. She sees herself almost like she's kind of single and doing things because she wants to do them. It's like rebelling a little bit. And I don't know what's going on in the dynamic between the two of you guys, but this is obviously signs that something is there. Maybe her attraction is not what it would be, or maybe you're just simply not setting and enforcing healthy boundaries. And obviously we'll get that to a minute, because you're definitely not setting and enforcing healthy boundaries in the proper way, because he's given her basically the freedom to kind of go and continue hanging out with this guy, which I would have never done that. So he says 2 weeks ago, she came home from work crying because her new man colleague from work had resigned. Come on, man. That's not something you want to see. You don't want to see your wife coming home and bawling her eyes out about some friend, male coworker that left the office. That's just unusual. That shows that she has too much interest and affection for a male friend that she works with. It's not a good sign. They were working together in the same office for just 2 months, and she told me that they had become very close friends. So that's obviously what's changing. She is becoming more emotionally bonded and attracted to this guy, and now she's starting to express herself and not respect your relationship. That's why she's doing things, changing things around the house and going and getting a tattoo and not telling you about it. Because if you look at her actions, she's acting like a woman that is not loyal to you, and your opinion no longer matters. When was the last time she bawled her eyes out about something about the two of you? I mean, that's just really, that's a big red flag. Your wife coming home and crying about a guy, her behavior's changing. Definitely not good signs. So he said, back to what he was saying, they were working together in the same office for just 2 months. She told me they become very close friends. Their characters match. They have common interests, and they bonded together. And she was very sad he is leaving, and that she doesn't want to lose him from her life. For a married woman, that is inappropriate. And that's the kind of thing, it's like, you know, I'm sorry that this male coworker left, but you getting all emotional and crying, getting a tattoo, changing things around the house without asking me, it's like, you're really disrespecting our relationship and our marriage. And this is extremely, I love you, but this is extremely inappropriate. And I'm really disappointed that you're behaving this way. It shows me that you don't care about our family and our kids like you should be. And I'm very disappointed. At the time, I didn't react strongly because she was very emotional, and I focused on calming her down. After all, she was the one telling me about it. It's great that she was telling you about it, but I would have handled it totally differently. A week later, she had an appointment with a doctor in a close town where he lives, and she told me she arranged to go for a drink with him after her appointment. Notice she didn't say, hey, would you mind if I went and had drinks with this guy after my appointment? She just said, oh, by the way, I'm going to go meet him for drinks. Again, showing that she's not on the team right now. She's all about me. She's not about the we. I told her that I was not feeling good about it, and after a couple of big discussions in which she assured me they are only friends. Yeah, they're only friends until, oops, his dick ended up inside me. And that she knows how to keep her distance from other men. I told her that after all, it's up to her to decide what to do. I would not have done that, dude. You just basically say, hey, you know, if you cheat, you cheat, it's okay. Finally, she did go out with him despite knowing my feelings about it. Yeah, because she doesn't give a shit. And you basically told her it was okay. So this is the same kind of thing like when you're dating or you're in a relationship, you're kind of seeing a girl and you're thinking it's progressed, and then she starts telling you about another guy who's just a friend, but you don't have to worry about him. When a woman tells you that, it's like she's being honest and disclosing that there is a male orbiter out there that obviously has interest and they are bonding and connecting. And she's having conversations more than likely with him that are inappropriate and really should be between the two of you. He says, after she came back, I told her that I had given a lot of thought to this matter and realized it is okay for both of us to make new friends, connect with new people, bond with them, and even go out for drinks with them, as long as it is in a friendly mode and we keep our distance from them as married people are expected to do. Come on, man. You're being totally naive there. This is just a big, big no-no. I can tell she was surprised by that because deep down she knows you should have been like, that's just not cool. And this is where you bring up, it's like, how would you feel if I started hanging out with really beautiful single women that I worked with and going and having drinks and doing fun things with them and then not telling you about it or telling you after the fact, oh, by the way, I'm going to go hang out with this really smoking hot single girl that just started working with, because we really click. We have a lot of chemistry and we have a lot of fun together. We've gone to lunch a few times, you know, as a group, and we're just friends. There's nothing going on. You have to say this to you. You're just like, would you be okay with that? Would you think that's appropriate for your husband to be hanging out with a hot single woman who's obviously flirting with me and inviting me out for drinks? She'll probably say no. And you want to know how? I'll get to that line in a second. He says, I can tell she was surprised by that and asked me jokingly not to find a girlfriend. Because jokingly, she's thinking about a new boyfriend. So again, she knows it's inappropriate, but you're the man. You're supposed to be the leader of the household, and you shouldn't be giving her permission, because the reality is this dude is not interested in just being friends. He wants to rearrange your wife's insides. That's what's really going on. I don't care what he says or what she says. He wants to fuck your wife, dude. And if you think otherwise, you're being naive and delusional. 2 days ago, I noticed she was exchanging messages with him, and I later checked her phone, which I am not very proud about. Let's keep you checking the phone between you, me, and the fence post, and obviously the audience here. Keep it a secret. Don't let her know that you checked the phone, because it's, you know, our spy agencies don't reveal their secrets, obviously, unless you got Edward Snowden coming along and revealing it. So the smart thing to do is to just kind of play stupid and ask questions, be inquisitive, look at her actions. You know the truth because you're reading her messages, and in a roundabout way, you can see if she's lying and trying to deceive you. But you're going to need to have a serious fucking conversation with her with a quickness. I found frequent message exchanges between them, sometimes even late at night. Their dialogue vibe is mainly friendly, but they exchange some love you, miss you, kisses, etc. That is not fucking okay. A guy she's known for 2 months, oh, love you, miss you, kisses. Fuck that. And there were a few flirty points between them as well. Yeah, he wants to bang your wife, dude. And obviously she's thinking about it. And you've given her permission to continue seeing where this goes. The worst thing about it, though, is that she is telling him what is happening between us. Parts of our conversations and other personal stuff that I consider as confidential between the couples. They even made a couple of jokes about me, which made me very angry. Remember, there's always, behind anger is always fear. What are you afraid of? You're afraid that your wife is going to bang this other guy. And if you don't change course, you're literally allowing her to just go and have an affair with this dude. And then she can just say, oh, it just kind of happened. It's not my fault. It just kind of happened. I haven't told her anything yet, as I don't want to tell her I checked her phone. And if I were you, I wouldn't tell her that. You got to be a little more Sherlock Holmes-like and James Bond-like. You don't reveal your sources and methods. I am feeling very bad about what's happening and would appreciate your thoughts. Well, I would be sitting down with her and saying, look, I know you like this guy. There's obviously chemistry there. Obviously, you're feeling attraction for him. He's feeling attraction for you. And I simply don't buy that he's just interested in friendship. And if you think he just wants to be your friend and not fuck you, you're being naive. And it's just inappropriate for you to keep maintaining this kind of a relationship and meeting this guy out. I mean, if anything, if he was really just a friend and a great friend, you should be bringing me along and introducing me to this friend of yours. Maybe we can do a double date with him. That's what I would be saying. But how would you like it if my new hot 22-year-old secretary that works for me, who obviously I can tell she has a crush on me and likes me, has been asking me to meet her out for drinks or take her out for drinks, and she's single, would you mind that at all? And I just, yeah, nothing's going to happen, honey. She wouldn't feel good about that. She even jokingly said, I hope you don't find a new girlfriend, because it's obvious that she's considering finding a new, well, actually, she's kind of found a new potential boyfriend. So, but like I said, I would not reveal your sources and methods. I wouldn't, because after you have your conversation with her and tell her that she needs to nip this in the bud and tell this guy that it's not appropriate. If you want to get together with him, I'm happy to meet him. We can go to dinner or whatever and go meet the guy out for drinks. But you meeting him alone, it's like, that doesn't work for me. That's just not appropriate. It's like, I would never do that out of respect for you and our marriage and our children. What kind of example is that setting for our kids? Oh yeah, mommy's out on a date with, having drinks with some other guy, but don't worry, she's not gonna screw around on daddy and not leave the family to go be with somebody else. It's like, come on, man, gotta nip it in the bud, dude. Like I said, there should be people there that you know and trust with your wife when she's around this other dude, or you, more importantly, in a better way, is you should be the one there. And you should be asking her, how come you didn't invite me to come with you to meet this guy if he's such a friend and he just cares about you in a friendly way? Meeting him out for drinks in the evening, that sounds like a date. You wouldn't obviously like it if I went out with a hot single girl coworker. Come on. You're insulting me. You're insulting our family. And I don't appreciate this at all. And your behavior needs to change. You need to nip this shit in the bud and tell him that you can't be hanging out with him and you shouldn't be talking to him all the time. And just you coming home and crying about a guy you've known for 2 weeks, it's like you obviously care about him more than a friend. I've never seen you come home and bawl about something with one of your girlfriends like this. It's just extremely ridiculous. And it's insulting personally to me, our relationship, our marriage, our children, our family, and what we've been building for the last decade and a half. And I'm really extremely disappointed in you and all this. That's how I would be handling it, dude. But I certainly wouldn't want to be putting up with this. So if you haven't read my first book, 3% Man, you can read it at understandrelationships.com for free. You can also read Mastering Yourself, which is all about purpose, mission, succeeding, accomplishing, figuring out what your purpose is in life. It's a book of self-reliance. And you can read it, again, for free at understandrelationships.com. And if you've got a sticky situation, maybe similar to this, and you're getting a bad feeling about it, and you're going, man, I don't know, I'd really like to get Corey's opinion on it, go to understandrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page of my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. And I will talk to you soon.